spirit of reconciliation, the P&C Federation New South Wales acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout New South Wales and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respect to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples.
Thank you for joining us again for another Perspectives and Conversations. I'm Gemma Quinn, CEO of the P&C Federation, and we are so happy that you've joined us today to speak with the amazing Kathleen Vella from RAISE. Kath, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's an absolute delight because I know when I first heard about the RAISE program, I was really excited about what it can do for our young people in public education and more broadly, given the things that they're having to grapple with at the moment. And we hear so frequently from families about the complexities of life for young people these days and the challenges when it comes to their mental health and challenging conversations that families need to have. So tell us about the program and what it offers.
So RAISE is a youth mentoring organisation and we provide mentoring for young people aged 13 to 16 years. Predominantly we provide it in schools and we've been doing so for the last 17 years. But this year we've moved into the online space. So now it doesn't matter what school you go to, or even if you go to school at all or where you live, you'll be able to access our program from pretty much anywhere at a time that suits you.
That's fantastic. I mean, surely that is a huge deal for our rural, regional and remote communities.
It really is, and that was part of the reason why we've gone to the online space, is that we had a big ambitious plan to be in every single government school across the country, and we were well on our way of doing so. But, you know, we are in a cost of living crisis situation, so our funds aren't allowing us to go to those great big scales, but then online and digital and AI is coming into play. So that just became like the perfect mix to complement what we have already been doing so well for the past 17 years and bring that into the online space and just extend our reach without having to extend the dollars as much as an in-person program necessarily needs you to do.
That's really exciting. I know as well as a parent, that travel that often comes with face-to-face is really another complexity and another barrier to making sure you're there and you're getting your kids where they need to go, or the kids can travel themselves on public transport.
That's right.
There's so many different opportunities that open up when you can use technology and that online space to your family's benefits.
And
so
safely
brilliant.
as well. So knowing that it's all in a secure, safe, monitored program as well takes away that risk. And so while we've been delivering our program for 16,000 young people over the last 17 years, it really depended on the program running in your school. So if you didn't go to that particular school that the program was delivered in, you sort of missed out on the program. And that was really heartbreaking, getting the emails from the parents saying, I really need a mentor for my young person, but we're just not in your school at this particular point in time. So then having to refer them elsewhere, and then elsewhere not having capacity either. So now it doesn't matter. They can just sign up themselves, or the young person can sign up themselves and start being part of the program.
I love the fact that a young person might take initiative for themselves and identify that a mentor is something that they would benefit from, and to go out and seek that, knowing that it's something that maybe hasn't been tested in their school or by one of their peers, but it's accessible and they don't have to wait for it to come to them.
That's right. And sometimes it's a bit difficult to explain the concept of a mentor. And so it's really important that we explain to the young people that it's somebody there that you can trust, that you can talk to, that it's your time, your space. And this is not a parent, this is not a teacher, this is not someone who's being paid to work with you. This is someone who's choosing to work with you. They're volunteering their time, just like they would with like Surf Lifesavers or SES. They've chosen you. They've chosen you for an hour every single week to turn up and just be there. So it's your space. So you can pretty much talk about anything that you want, and our trained volunteers will be able to support you through that process.
I imagine the well-being aspects of this would be huge. That idea of having someone that's choosing to be there with you, investing in you, and who wants to genuinely provide you what they have to grow as a young person must build confidence and assurance for young people. What sort of benefits do you see from the program?
Well, definitely for our young people, there are 5 key areas that we see at the end of the program. So we see an increase hope for the future, their ability to ask for help, increased resilience, increase in confidence, and also an increase in connection back to school and community. So all of those, and we see statistically significant impact in all of those pillars as well. One of the things that the young people are referred to our program for could be anxiety, loneliness, bullying. We're seeing a fair bit of that coming through as well. We're also seeing about 47% of the young people who access our program have identified as a young carer. So they're looking after someone either formally or informally who might have a disability or a mental health issue within their family.
Wow.
So there's a time for them to have their space. And just like we're seeing the loneliness epidemic with adults, we're also seeing the loneliness epidemic with young people as well. So it's a fabulous opportunity for someone just to talk to someone and know that that person is completely trained and trusted and can be there for you for that period of time.
Tell us a little bit about the training. What is it that a mentor comes equipped with in order to have these conversations with young people?
So to be a mentor with us, we actually do put you through a little bit of work to make sure that you are up to speed. So first of all, you have to do an application form, and so that can be a little bit lengthy, but we're just trying to make sure that you're suitable for the role. You have to do all the requirements of your working with children checks and your police checks and pass those, and then you start our training. So as a volunteer mentor, you start doing 8 online modules, which are self-paced, and they're all about communication skills, understanding youth issues, youth safety, how to be a fabulous mentor. So you complete those, and then you go into 2 3-hour training sessions, which are delivered virtually, and they're in a group setting. So in this, you're now putting all of that theory into practice, and you're doing role plays, but our trainers are also still looking to make sure that you're suitable. So it's still part of our screening process. Now, if you're successful, that's enough for you to become a school-based mentor, but if you want to come over to the digital program, you're going to have to do one more interview just to make sure that you are savvy in the tech world. And then you conduct another 3-hour training session in the digital space where, again, we're just checking to make sure on your digital skills, but there's also a nuance in how to be an online mentor. So we're just making sure that you can build rapport, engage a young person when you can only see this much of them. And then once you've done that, you are ready to go. And so you're matched with a young person in either program, and you can work with them for a series of weeks. So in the digital space, you work with them for either 17 weeks, where you're looking at their social emotional development, and we have curriculum that you follow, or you do our shorter program, which is 10 weeks, which only focuses on one pillar, which is our ask for help. Because this age bracket is the least likely age bracket to ask for help. They don't know how or who to go to, and sometimes if they do have someone in their life, they feel the burden of asking for that help. So I don't want to trouble mum and dad. Mum and dad have got too many things on their plate. Maybe dad's lost his job, maybe there's financial circumstances, maybe someone's ill in the family, so they don't want to be that extra burden to say, hey, I'm not doing okay either. So we work with them on that to reduce those barriers, so by the end of it they know how to ask for help, who to ask for help, and also to know how to get help for their peers as well.
That skill building is incredible, because we know that there are a lot of models where you become solely reliant on the person that you've been connected with, but it sounds like you're equipping a young person with the conversational and emotional learning skills that they need to then be able to go out in their own context and exercise that ability to seek help.
That's exactly it. We try to make ourselves redundant. That's what we're trying to do.
What a great concept.
Well, that's it. So the idea is that over the course of the relationship, first of all, we're building that relationship, we're building the trust, and then once we've established that trust, that's when we can work on those core skills and help that young person develop, whether it's about friendship, confidence, risk-taking behaviour, any of those things, we'll be working with that young person. But as we start to get to the end of the program, then we start shifting to those asking for help skills, about where are you going to go to when I'm no longer here? Who can you go and ask for help? How are you going to ask for help? And they have to identify 5 people in their life that they're able to ask for help and where they're going to go to once the program has come to an end. And so that's part of our gift of goodbye. So we make sure that we're not just letting them go and so, okay, program's over, but at the end of the program, that young person is completely supported and knows, okay, where to from here.
That resilience aspect, I think, is going to be really important for young people, because now we know, come December, we have all of these changes to children's access to social media. There's going to be a lot of flux and change in terms of how our young people connect with each other, with trusted peers, and also with the world around them. Having a different touch point, training them to use a new set of skills to communicate, I imagine would be quite timely.
It is quite timely, and it's also something that we then as a society need to look at if we're going to be taking away this particular space for them where they do use it both for entertainment but also for support. And I think that's the bit that has been and not looked at appropriately. Like, I know there is some benefits to it, but I also think we need to look at the support aspects of it. So how are we going to create these safe spaces for where these young people can continue to connect? And digital mentoring is one of those spaces that can help fill that void in the interim, and that parents can safely refer their young person to, knowing that there's that support there, still in the digital space, but completely safe and secure.
That aspect of safety, I know, will be very reassuring to parents, and certainly something we've been hearing in the lead up to the changes is that parents are concerned that they aren't always able to have the conversations directly with their child without their child closing up, having a little bit of, of cognitive distance there, whether it's, being able to send a text to your parent, or being able to go through a different channel, or send them a meme that sort of expresses something and starts a conversation, often can be a really useful tool. And if those tools change, or the way that children interact with those tools is going to change, what would you think, would even maybe the mentoring program be an opportunity for parents to upskill themselves, supporting other young people outside of their home context, but also knowing that those skills are applicable? Could they sign up to be a mentor?
They definitely can sign up to be a mentor, and that is what we see. A lot of our mentors are parents of the exact same age bracket that have come in, done the training, so that they can learn those critical conversation skills, because it's completely different to how you have a conversation. And the best way to describe it is like, when you're driving in the car and like you're not looking at each other, and so that pressure is off. That's what we're trying to teach you. It's like the silence is just as important as asking and drilling for questions. And sometimes it's that the not asking and it's the holding in the pause just gives that safe space for that young person to then open up. So that's what we also train our mentors to do. Do less of the talking, more of the listening. And it's the active listening, really listening to what that young person is saying and paraphrasing back, not necessarily drilling in for more questions, more details about what you're saying, which is, I think, sometimes what we as parents do, because we want to know all the information. But sometimes it's better just to go back and say, so what you're saying is, have I got this right? Is this what's happening? And they can go, no, that's completely wrong, and make sure you've got a good understanding. Or they can go, yeah, that's it. And even just saying simple sentences like, that's a lot. Just acknowledging that what they've just disclosed to you is a lot, is enough to open up that next conversation. So just letting them have that space is really important.
It sounds like a really useful set of skills for any parent to learn. I mean, the number of times that I know I've gone into that, tell me more. School wasn't boring. There's got to be a follow-up. I definitely think I could probably benefit from sitting in the silence a little bit and letting them come to me.
And it's uncomfortable because we're forced to fill all this empty space. We think we have to fill it. And it's just telling them, well, I'm here for you when you're ready to talk. And then when they are ready, being there. So if that's ready at 11 o'clock at night when you're completely and utterly exhausted, but that's the time they want to talk, then we've said that to them during the day. We've said, it's fine, not now, but sure, later. So then again, it's not drilling them, it's just listening to what flows out at that time of night, and just taking it all in and just paraphrasing back to make sure you've captured it the way that they want it to be captured, not the way you think it needs to be captured. So,
That's really powerful. I think I'm going to have to sit on that and really resonate, because it resonates with me, and I'm going to have to sort of ruminate on it a bit to make sure it actually sinks in, because it's a real mind shift, isn't it? And I'm sure the mentor relationship with whoever you are assigned to would be a very deep and personal one. How does the mentor get assigned to a young person? I mean, is there sort of a process of getting the right person for you? Wow.
There is a matching process. So it's all young person led. So the young person is in charge of how they're going to identify who they want to be. So each person goes and completes the matching form that we have. So first of all, it's based on interest and compatibility. What interests you? Well, how do you like to have fun? You know, how do you like to spend your time? And so we'd want to build on that one first. Then the next level is values. Like, what are your values? What are core and what's important to you? So we want to make sure that they're compatible on their values as well. And then the third level then is, what do you want to get out of this mentoring relationship? So that young person is able to define what they want to get out of it, and then we match them up with a mentor who might be really good in that particular space. So it's those three levels of how we connect someone. And then, of course, day and time availability and the state that you live in. So all those logistical components as well. But ideally, we just really want to make sure that you're as compatible as you possibly can be. So in our digital space, we've created an algorithm which helps us do this, so that we can say this is a 98% compatibility rating, you're going to be awesome. So at the moment, we as staff are making those matches in the back end, but very soon we're going to hand that over to the young person. So they'll finish their form, hit submit, and it's going to pop up on the screen. Hey, Kath, here are 4 mentors that we think would be fabulous for you. 70% rating, 98% rating, 80% rating, and you'll get a little blurb about why we think they're awesome. And then you can pick, yep, that's the person I want to be connected with. So again, handing that power back to that young person. So again, they're in control of their space, their pathway.
That is really walking the walk, isn't it? I mean, or walking the talk rather. Idioms are not my strong point, but you know, that autonomy for children, I think now is more important than ever. We're talking about essentially taking away a right to a safe online space, you know, acknowledging that there are harmful online spaces and treating all of these spaces now with a single, you know, strike of a pen, you know, you're no longer allowed to access them. That's going to feel very confronting for a lot of young people when they're using social media for good. So being able to really reinforce, even in little ways, that you do have autonomy as a young person, I think would really help to then re-establish some trust, I think.
That is, yeah. And right now in the program, so a young person at the end of every one of their sessions goes and is able to tell us how their session went. Give us a score out of 10. How's your mentor going? And so far we're really lucky that they're scoring us really well. They're having a brilliant time on the platform. But in the odd occasion where someone has said, okay, 6, 5 or a 4, we're going to check in with that young person. So we ask the mentor to turn up 10 minutes late to their session, and we'll jump in and we'll have a conversation with them about how's it going, what's working, what's not working. So that young person again can say privately to us, my mentor's asking me too many questions, I feel like I'm being drilled. So we can then go back to the mentor and say, hey, you know, you need to change it up. This is what the young person would like to focus more on, and this is what they would like to focus less on. And so it provides that safe space for them to go and, again, lead the pathway that they want to go to. And then all of our sessions are recorded and transcribed. And then we have another piece of AI that we've developed, which is looking at those transcriptions and providing a summation for us. So what it's telling us is how's the mentee and the mentor engaging? Are they connected well? Is their relationship moving into developmental stage? What topics do they go and cover? It doesn't go in detail and tell us word for word what they're saying, but should the young person go and identify something which was of a concern, which requires further follow-up, the system flags it for us so that we can then go check in with the young person, the mentor, and bring the parent into the conversation as well.
That was going to be my next question. Right, so you've not only got those checks and balances, but you have the mechanisms in place to then go and check in if there is something that needs to be discussed with a parent.
And if it happens during the session where the young person outright discloses something, so they've made a disclosure, we have an ask for help button that both the young person and the mentor can press. And so just by clicking that button, within 30 seconds, one of our team has joined that virtual meeting, and we're in there with them and we're talking through what needs to be done. If it's something that we need to bring the parent in for, we call them in and we ask them to join the session. So now we're recording the whole session of the parent, the young person, the mentor and the case manager, working through that to create a really good safety plan for that young person. And so that we don't exclude the family from something which requires it, but if the family is the situation, then there's different circumstances connected to that. So that we try and support that young person right through. So it is a really good, safe environment. You've got the ask for help buttons, you've got the training that the mentors do prior, and then you've got us looking at every single session, and we're there literally a click of a button and a staff member's in there within 30 seconds is when we can join that session. And on top of all that, once the young person finishes their program, we then ask all the mentors to then join a debrief session. So again, they join another separate online link where another counsellor takes them through a debrief. How'd it go? How were things? Okay, we're going to upskill you in particular topics. So it could be communication styles. It could be, my young person, I'm only seeing their forehead in the videos. Like, how can I engage them more? So it's about how to, improve on those skills. But it's also about upskilling them on key topics or themes that we're seeing. So if we're seeing bullying or vaping or the social media concerns coming through, then we're able to train those mentors in real time. So their training doesn't end once they start the program. We're continuously supporting them throughout the entire relationship as well. So as a parent, you can have a surety that we're not just putting a complete stranger in and letting them go. We are completely supporting that relationship from beginning to end, and everybody, both the child, the parent and the mentor, is included in that concept.
It seems like such a fantastic opportunity for both sides, for young people, but also for mentors. That ongoing learning and support that you have access to, I mean, that just is invaluable. It's not something that you can readily access as a parent. That's going to be a tool that you can use in your own day-to-day.
Well, that's exactly it. And the skills that you learn in mentoring are transferable, not just with your own family, but we see so many mentors using those skills in their workplace. So coaching and mentoring other staff members that are coming through, people that are reporting into them, being a better leader within the group as well. Communication skills are ones that you can continuously be improving on, and so it's fantastic. So we see both mentors go and say, I feel a better connection to my workplace thanks to being able to do this. I also feel I've got a better connection to my own children, to my grandchildren, to other young people in my life. But also we have people who then say, I just feel I have more empathy for what young people are going through today because it's completely different to when I was there. So it's creating that lovely community, the ripple effect to supporting our young people, as opposed to everyone saying, oh, this young generation.
If I'm, for the people who are listening and thinking, I want to access this for my child, or I want to be a part of this amazing program and enrich the young lives, in our schools, what do they do next,
Well, the fantastic bit is this program is free for families. So that's the first thing. And the first thing you need to do is just go onto our website at raise.org.au, and raise as in like raise your hand.
RAISE.
That's it. And literally just jump onto our website and it's right there front and centre. I want a mentor for my child. And so click on that and just start filling in the application form. And it's not too late. I know we're heading towards the end of the year and people might be thinking, oh, but it's wrapping up, maybe we should start this next year. No, start now. The program runs all throughout. We just have a small closure period in over January, but that young person can work with their mentor right up to the end of this year and then continue that relationship once they go back to school. And we find that that's a much better way, because then if they are starting school next year, particularly a transition from primary to high school or from year 9 to year 10, any of those key transition points, you're then able to have that support person already in place. So any anxiety that young person might be feeling about starting the new year, they've got their safe, trusted person already lined up, ready to go.
That's fantastic. So even though there's a 10-week program and then the 17-week program, it's not 10 weeks in a set these are our 10 weeks we're running. It's, you know, the term time 10 weeks. It's more flexible
whenever
than
you
that.
pick up. So if you put an application in today, you could start next week. If you put an application in 2 weeks' time, again, you just start. That's the beautiful bit about the digital program, is it's a start any time. It's as soon as we have a mentor that's a perfect match for you, you're off and running. So that's ready to go. And I have mentors. I have mentors sitting there waiting and I'm ready to match as many young people as we possibly can this year. So, yeah.
Oh, that is absolutely wonderful. What fantastic news. I mean, I know that this is a really interesting time of year because we've got young people who are ramping up and, you know, getting everything that they, you know, our year 11s in particular, getting into the space of moving into senior year. They've started year 12 curriculum, and then you've got others who are winding down and might be looking for something, but whoever that cohort is, there is going to be a different reason or a different drive to find a mentor. So to have access to it now is perfect.
And the beautiful bit is that it fits in, so most of our matches are meeting after school. So even though our program can run with the school support from school, so if your wellbeing team are happy to support you, you can log on during school hours, but majority of our matches are coming in after school hours. So again, it can fit around sport, you know, if sport's wrapping up, training's wrapping up, you know, it fits in nicely to that afternoon schedule. All that we ask is that a parent is home and present, but not listening in. So again, it just fits in with that family lifestyle. You could be in the kitchen preparing dinner for the family, and your young person could be in another safe room having their mentoring session. So if we needed to call you in, you're there. But other than that, it's just runs smoothly and you can keep on doing what you need to do in the household, and the program will be fine.
And if you're a young person and this sounds like something that is, you know, a great opportunity for you, but let's say, you know, you are one of that 47% that has caring responsibilities, or after school is not a time where you're going to have opportunity to sit down with a parent in the house. Are you able to, would you say, you know, to talk to your school, see
Definitely.
what opportunities are available at school?
Talk to your school, because you can still sign up for the program as an individual, and if your wellbeing teacher or counsellor is willing to be your safe person that sits in the other room not listening in, and will allow you to do it even during lunchtime. Like, so you could go into this, lots of schools have hubs that students can go into, so if you could be in the hub and the teacher's nearby, then you can still access the program. And we'll work with your school, so you don't have to do any of the logistics. We can do all of that with the school and also with the parents. If a young person, though, is over the age of 15, so between 15 and 16, they can give their own consent as well. So if they're willing to, they're able to do that, then they can provide their own consent. But under 15, we still need parental consent. So, yeah.
That is, I think, so exciting to know that there are opportunities there to remove barriers to access, and that you've thought about all of these different ways to tap into what our young people need. It's really exciting to hear about the program. Is there anything else that you want to tell us while we've got a captive audience of parents? Because I know I'm already buzzing, thinking, my gosh, how can we best engage with this incredible program? I'm sure everyone's still eager to hear more. What would you tell us?
I would just say that if your young person isn't keen on sitting down for 45 minutes in front of the computer, if you're having a little bit of trouble roping them in and being part of a consistent routine, maybe the program isn't right for that young person. But if you have a young person who's always in front of their computer, perfect program for them. And not to wait. Like, I know we're thinking, okay, things are getting busy, it's getting to the end of the year. I think now's the time. A lot of young people are feeling the stress. They're feeling the stress of, as you just said, the social media ban coming in. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of anxiety. Just sign them up now. And then we'll work with you on how many weeks the program runs for, what's the best program for you. We'll do all of that with you to make sure that it fits in nicely with your family's schedule. But for now, I just say, please don't wait. Like, we've got the spaces. The program is free. Please join now. Yeah.
It's free. It's beneficial for everyone. It is accessible and it's available now. I mean, it sounds like something that we really should encourage everyone to look into, and we want those wraparound supports for our young people. So to know it's building resilience for them, not just throughout the program, but in the future, is an incredible opportunity. So I really do thank you for coming in today, for telling us about the program, and also for just doing this amazing work, building the autonomy and the skills of our young people. It's really, really special.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.